Change does not come unless you grab it by the hand. King James. So, struck is like a curse. Give the king whatever he wants.
May I perform for you?
Well, look, I think it's a sign of wealth and power, and I think, Annie Simons was very, she was very smart in allowing this sort of the size of this earring to kind of grow as George grew with his power as well. I think it's a lovely kind of motif that is used throughout the show. In terms of its significance to James, I'm not entirely sure about that, but
yeah. Well, I think, King James, he loved a trinket or two. He loved a bit of bling. His dog apparently was called Jewel as well. He loved. The only reason he opened Parliament after 6 years because he was short of a few quid. He was like, raise taxes. I'm in need of some finery again. But I think if you look at the clothes that Annie, procured for us and we wore, it was he appeared to be quite affluent, King James. But I think in reality, he was becoming quite broke, and I think a lot of that was about his lavish spending. So, maybe it does pertain to sort of the wealth of it all, the earring. But ultimately, he wasn't as wealthy as he thought he was.
Sure,
It certainly looked good, didn't it?
and it looks great.
Yeah.
Well, and when we created the character of Mary, we wondered who could play her, and Julianne Moore was obviously the absolute top of our list. And so we just sent the scripts to her agent, who read them and was like, "Oh my God, this part is incredible. Julie's never played anything like this." And then she read it and loved the sense of humor in Dave's scripts and her ruthlessness and determination to succeed no matter what. And she attached very early on in our process, which was brilliant and incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and then with Nick, we needed someone. So George is this extraordinarily beautiful, powerful man who goes on this incredible journey. So finding someone with that sort of magnetism is really hard, and we needed someone who is undeniably beautiful. And I think you all say that Nick is undeniably beautiful, but he also, I think he charts. He's got the biggest emotional change in the show. He changes probably the most. He becomes a different person. And I think the way Nick tracks that across the show is one of the things I'm proudest of what we've done in this drama, because you see him turn and shift, and he tracks it, I think, across the episodes brilliantly. And then Tony, the king could have been a sort of a figure of fun. So, there was a version we could have done of James where he was a sort of a mock, two-dimensional, silly king who just indulges his instincts and his pleasures and all the rest of it. But I think Tony brings a 3D complexity to the part that is astonishing. Real, genuine emotional pain, and he's an absolute treat to work with. And I think the three of them
were just so fantastic, weren't they? It was such a great atmosphere on set, and they got on so well, all three of them. That it just, it was a long, grueling shoot, and it took so long to get into the costumes and all of that, but everybody was always in such a good place.
And I think you see it in the intimacy between the King and George in the sort of more quiet, playful scenes they have together. And I think that comes from their closeness as actors as well. So it's been a great journey.
No, we didn't actually.
No.
It
just worked right away. Perfect.
It just worked. It just clicked, and they get on so well, and they're really good friends now. And I think that the chemistry between them was really palpable.